I am Joyita Bosha, Assistant Professor of Philosophy at Shamshi College. I am going to present my topic, that is women empowerment, an initiative for upliftment of human society. I mainly focused on some basic points, that is cultural impact on the women, then reason and need of a women empowerment, the implementation of women empowerment, and the conclusion in few words of mine. We all know women empowerment is a burning issue in modern time in India. Almost 50% of world's population is women. Women empowerment has been the public domain, but still they are not able to stand in the society because women are not totally free from social superstitions. They are always kept in home to avoid social violence like rape, acid attacks, if teasing, etc. Till now, some of them are independent, and some of them are dependent on men. They are not allowed to speak in loud voice. Women are not treated as equal to men in all the places. So, empowerment of women should be the top priority to remove those circumstances. Empowerment of women means the upliftment of monetary, social, and also political status of women. Cultural impact on the women. Culture is one of the areas which encircles the people in all aspects of their life. Cultural impact affects women through their education, behavior, and conduct. In old cultural tradition, women are discriminated by many rituals, such as Devdasis, Jahu, Mukta, Sati. What is Devdasis custom? Devdasis was a religious practice in India. According to this practice, women were forced to marry with a deity or temple. After some period later, they are being sexually exploited or harassed. Next is Jahu. Jahu refers to practice of the voluntary immolation of all wives and daughters of defeated warriors in order to overcome the depression of war. This practice was followed by Rajput rulers. Porta. Porta is a custom among some religious communities of requiring women to cover their body so that their body should not be confronted among people. This custom is a symbol of women's subordination. Sati. Sati is an old custom in Indian society. According to this custom, widows were immolated alive on her husband's funeral day. This custom was forcefully charged to the women. So it is clear that women have been victims of harmful customs and rituals in the Indian society since ancient times. But my question is why such practices are continuing even today? So that is my question. Is not being highlighted and is so small in front. So my question is why such practices being continuing today? Yes, today we see such kind of brutal custom are present in the society, such as female genital mutation, mutilation or khatna, teeth chiseling of female, breast ironing. And what is the female genital mutilation? This is a cruel practice of female genital cutting. Hatha is not only practiced in tribal region but also in India Young girls aged 6 and 7 are regularly being cut. Then, what is teeth chiseling of female women go through a painful practice known as teeth chiseling in Sumatra. The local shaman sharpens the teeth by a rude blade as best as he can, and then take a rock and begins to hack away. The young girls give him no drug support to numb their pain. This practice is done to make them more beautiful and attractive to men. Then, breast irony. According to this cruel custom, large hot stones, hammers, or spatulas are burned over hot coals and pressed against the girl's breast to stop their breast from growing by attempting to damage breast tissues. And all of this is done just to prevent mean attraction and as a precautionary measure against girls getting raped. So, till now, women are suffers from those kinds of cruel customs. But now, they should refuse those harmful and painful rituals by raising their voice, and empowerment is the best way to protest this negativity. Next, my my highlighting point is reason and need of women empowerment. What is a reason? What is a need? Basic Three basic reason and need of a women empowerment, that is lack of education. They are economically very poor. They are totally absent from the political scene. Today in India we have noticed different scheme of central government as well as state government which has been implemented to empower the women. But the participation of women at every level in the society is very low. Lack of education, they do not engage themselves in services and other activities. Around 66 of the female in rustic area is still unused. If 50% of global population suffers daily discrimination, increased risk of assault by virtue of being female, then we can say that empowerment should be the top priority to remove those circumstances. Women are found to be economically very poor all over the India. So they need economic power and educational power. Because without educational power, economic flexibility is not possible. And without economic flexibility, no one can stand their own legs. Financial empowerment of women spurs economic growth within a country, which can lead to the country economically strong and stable. More empowered women means more safety and security. At the time when India was under colonial rule, it was the male members who could vote elections, while women were totally absent from the political scene. If women stand up in political stage, they get legislation to save and protect their life. If women we want our daughters, if we want our daughters to be brought up in free atmosphere, then we need more women in political power. In next slide, I am going to address the implementation of women empowerment. The concept of empowerment derives from the power. Empowerment of women would mean economical stability, self-reliant, have positive mental and physical power to face any difficult situation. In India, the Ministry of Human Resources Development and the National Commission for Women have been working protect the rights and legislation of women. The Women's Justice Initiative is our national network of lawyers and social activists using the law to oppose all forms of gender based discrimination and violence against women. Today, the buzzword is that women can do anything. The most positive development for the last few years has been growing involvement of women in the Panchayat Raj institutions. At the central and state levels too, women are progressively making difference. Now we have seen women chief ministers, women president, different political parties leader, well-established businessmen, etc. At present, the government of India has more than 34 plans for women worked by various divisions and services. Some of those as per the following. Firstly, Mahila Samriddhi Yojana. This scheme is to be implemented through SCA in rural and urban areas by way of financing the women beneficiary either directly or through self-help group. Next is Sashakti Group. Sashakti Group is a national program to develop women, then support to training and empowerment of women, that is STEP. In this scheme, the STP scheme aims to provide skills that give employability to women and to provide competencies and skills that enable women to become self-employed. Then, Women's Development Corporation. This scheme evaluates programs for promoting inter- entrepreneurship and generating self-employment among women in the fields of trade, business, service, etc., which will enable women to earn and improve their standard of living. Then we all know the daughter scheme, that is Konyasri, Department of Women Development and Social Welfare, Government of West Bengal is implementing the Konyasri Prokolp. According to this scheme, conditional cash was transferred to the girl child for improving their educational status. So, those are the finest steps which can help women to achieve their supreme goal of empowerment. By this hope, we can say that there is no work that they cannot do. Women can do anything. Lastly, last but not the least, my conclusion is that the society can only propagate with the equal contribution of men and women. Empowerment of women is possible only when the men and women work in together. Different theoretical analyses have been given for the empowerment of women, but it should not be limited only to the theory, but the practical aspect of the theory should be taken into account. They must fight for their own rights. Do not think of themselves as weak at present in the present era. It is very necessary for women to make their own debut. Thank you. I stop my presentation here.